made a little proclamation before last year's town budget that I think all departments felt like we were back from the cuts we had had several years back. We had been able to bring enough revenue back to the community to build these departments back up to where they were previously and where we found we could have a new normal in town, and we're trying to maintain that pace. We don't want to get too big too quick, and we want to provide everybody with everything they expect and not overspend because of the challenges I mentioned earlier.
New growth is so important to a city or town. Is there enough land in Plainville for new growth to continue moving into the future?
Yeah, we've still got a couple of great spots for commercial development, and a couple spots that I think some might say are underdeveloped that in time I think will change over. One of those is a project that's getting ready to go. It's already kind of been started in the center of town. Jeff Kinney and his team and Julie, his wife, are starting on quite an endeavor, which will be called Plainville Square. So you'll see the fencing has just gone up a couple weeks ago. I think middle of June for official demolition, and then we're going to see some great growth right in the center of town. It's going to be beautiful.
I drove past that Sunday dropping my wife off at the outlets and could not believe how much fencing there is. I didn't realize they were going to come down the street headed towards Town Hall to the point that they are.
Yeah. Yep, right around the pond there.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
It really is.
You're lucky to have him as a resident.
We certainly are. We certainly are.
So there's two big increases in the budget that are outside of the town's control. One of which is the MEC, or the Emergency Communications Center. Our assessment is going up over $100,000 because the state's grant for the 911 establishment has now ended. So now we have to pick that up. So that's about $100,000. And our King Philip, or KP, assessment is going up 10.81%, which is a $786,000 increase. So those are our two biggest changes in the budget, particularly the KP number, because if you look at our revenue numbers, the amount of money that we collected from the Proposition 2.5 allowance was only $761,000. So $786,000 is going to KP.
And as you said, you have Tri-County on the horizon and trying to fund that as well. How is the number determined for Plainville, Rentham, Norfolk, of what they contribute to the KP district?
Just based on head count. Student
No,
count.
it's a very confusing formula.
Yeah, I would have thought head count.
Well, I think that's
part of the formula. You're correct in that regard. But the other part is they try to equalize the community's value, property values, and then look at the amount of money being brought in and then the number of students. So it's an extraordinarily complex spreadsheet for that analysis. It takes a while to get the hang of that. And so far, the school has always been accurate in the way they had calculate that number, and it has to be certified by the Department of Revenue as well. So it's a combination of factors that go into the equalized value. And this also is the same formula that's used for Tri-County.
Okay, so that new growth, which helps revenue-wise, probably hurts you when it comes to funding King Philip. But does that one of the factors that drives that number up?
It is one of the factors that drives the number up, but our property values are not equal to Norfolk nor Rentham, so that helps us. But in the end, it all evens out. We increased our population of students at KP significantly. Consequently, we are paying more, both because our equalized values are catching up, and secondly, because we're sending more children